Brock Tozer backstage at Kingdom Bound with Joel and Luke, otherwise known as For King and Country. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes, guys.
Man, honored to be with you. Thanks for having us.
Just wrapped up your live set, and you signed a lot of autographs there, too.
Yeah. Got to meet a lot of cool people.
You guys actually used to go by Joel and Luke, right? And then you changed your name to For King and Country?
Yeah.
So why the name change? What does For King and Country mean to you? What's the significance of that?
We always came up with Joel and Luke because it was kind of like we couldn't come up with a better idea. So we're like, well, I'm Joel, he's Luke, I'm older, so I'll be first. I'm Joel and Luke.
Yeah.
But we'd always anticipated coming up with a name, but we wanted it to be a purposeful name.
Yeah.
You know. So we were in the studio, we were working on the record, and I'd come up with All the King's Men, like the Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme, and our producer actually swung around in the chair and said, hey, what about For King and Country, this old English battle cry? You know, as people going in to bleed for what they believe, to stand for something greater than themselves, they would chant For King and Country, and we thought, man, that's awesome. So, and here we are, For King and Country.
It works for sure.
Thanks,
and you
bro.
are the younger brothers of the woman that we know as Rebecca St. James.
Yes.
What kind of a sister was she? Like, be honest. Was she bossy? Was she encouraging? What sort of a sister is she?
Honestly, she was kind of like another mother. She really was.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't surprise me.
So with that, you have the pros and the cons
Yeah.
of somebody that can be a little bit bossy. But honestly, I think even when we were young boys, she helped raise us and tried to teach us good morals and to be respectful. And honestly, I mean, we can't really complain. We've got a great family. There's 7 kids. We were originally born in Australia, came over on a crazy trip, and to be able to still have them around and for them to still, all of us to still love each other, that's always quite a nice thing.
Because you guys have all lived in Nashville for a number of years, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And how much younger are you than her?
Well, I'm now 28,
Okay.
and so she's 35. So 7 years and 9 years.
Yeah.
9.5. Yeah.
Did you pick up anything about the music business from watching her career develop, but also from your father, who's a promoter? He's a music promoter,
Sure.
right?
I mean, even when we were back in Australia, some of our very first memories, Dad was a concert promoter, so he would always have bands coming over from the States. And so some of my first memories were having, you know, people coming through the house and going to shows. And I mean, I remember even back in the Vinyl 45 days, I would sit at a record player when I was like 5, 6 years old, just listening to records and loving it, you know, studying the covers and all of that.
Your record, Crave, has been very well reviewed, and some people are saying it's going to be one of their favorite records of the year. A lot of critics are commenting on how fresh the sound is. Where does that come from? What sort of sound are you going for? Who are your influences?
Well, I think that we just try to, you know, for both Joel and I, you talked about it before, we've grown up around music, and when you're around music for a long time, you hear a lot of different sounds. You have a lot of different flavors that enter into your mind. And I mean, we're not really intentionally going after one specific thing as much as it is we're trying to be ourselves. You know, we love orchestral soundtracks. We love live, organic, real, authentic sounding instruments. And I think we just really are trying to be honest and real to ourselves and not necessarily say, hey, you know, so-and-so of a band, we really like the way that they do things. We really are trying to create something that does sound fresh, is obviously the hope.
One more question and I'll let you go. When somebody listens to your record or they come to see you in concert, what do you want them to be thinking about as they're driving home? What's the main message that you want to give to your fans?
I think you always hope that, first of all, music, I mean, we believe music has a lot of power. You know, we talked about it at the show earlier, that there's this way that it affects our emotions. It's sort of unexplainable, but merging the power of music with the ultimate power of the themes of the gospel, I think that's where true power is found, you know, and where true power has been found through music through the ages. So our hope is that they're inspired, that they're entertained, but more importantly, that they'll walk away with something specific that kind of spurs them on to be the people that we believe God has called them to be, you know?
Well, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Cheers, Brock.